Welcome back to the next video in the Registered Employee Cultivate tutorial series, where we are navigating through the fourth tab on the application entitled More. If you've joined the previous videos, we have already reviewed the History tab and the Crop Prices tab, and the next tab that we'll be exploring will be the Cooling Units tab. Here, what you'll see is that we have access to three distinct pages called Planner, Room Conditions, and Crate Information. We'll go through each page individually. Starting off with the Planner page, the importance of this page is to view a prediction of the occupancy of your cooling unit across a span of days. So what you can see is that in our cooling unit test, our current occupation of this unit is 69% today. What is meaningful about this page is that you can see not only today's occupancy rates, but the predicted rates along for the rest of the week. This will be based off of the anticipated or planned days in storage that different users have marked for the items that they are storing in your cooling unit. To get a better understanding of this, you can take a look at some of the operator videos that explain the check-in process. So what you can see here is that based off of that information, although today's occupancy is 70%, for the rest of the week, there is lower anticipated occupancy of 0%. We're anticipating that the room will be empty. This is important planning information because if you have a particular user that is planning to come into your room in the coming days, you can let them know that although today it might look like you don't have the occupancy available, that say, for example, by Friday, you anticipate that your room will have available space for their items. What you can also see is that you can change this selection based off of the cooling unit that you're interested in taking a look at. For example, we'll switch our selection to our unit with our UV-bot sensor. And here, this room it differs in that it has an 81% occupancy today. Now, if we switch to our room conditions tab, what we can see here is we get a little bit of a different view of the information in our rooms. What this page will represent, if we switch to our unit test room, is the temperature history based on the sensors that are connected to a room. So we offer, as we have mentioned, 4 different sensor types that you can connect to your room in order to get temperature tracking of the cooling unit. Once you've connected those sensors, you'll be able to access this room conditions page, which will highlight the historical temperature of your cooling unit over time in Celsius. And you can also see the current temperature that is updated as of the most recent reading, which for us is Tuesday, April 15th at around 3 p.m. We can see how these temperatures have changed over time. And if you click on any one item or data point, you can see that temperature, the date, and the timestamp that it was recorded at, along with any other data point here as well. Now we can see how this information differs based off of the room that we're taking a look at. For example, in this location here, we can see that there is no connection to our UV-bot sensor. So this is an important flag to take a look at what is going on in that room. Meanwhile, if we take a look at one of our other locations, we can see how the temperature differs in that room as well, going up and down across certain days. Maybe that's something that we want to take a look at as well. And we can also see the current temperature that it is set at. Now, if we navigate to the third and final tab, we'll see Crate Information. So this is a view that is not made available to our cooling users, but is only available to our employees. And this is to be able to see the specific details of all of the crops that are stored in the room at a specific time. So what you can see is the information, specific information about that commodity. And this is important in order to make certain planning or coordination decisions about how to arrange the items in your room or how to prioritize the decreasing quality of the items in your room. So what you can understand is which items are higher in quantity, which items are taking up the largest percentage of the space in your room, how many crates you have of each of those items, and also the optimal storage temperature of those items. As we said, this can help with planning and orientation decisions around the room and also to get a sense of the full range of produce that is in the room. This information is not made available, as I mentioned, to cooling users in order to maintain a certain privacy priorities. Now, if we switch to a different room, we can see how this information differs. For example, here we can see that banana is the highest stored commodity in this room at this specific time. Now, with this given overview, this concludes our series of taking a look at the More tab from the registered employee page. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy using the application.